Let's do some more SQL coding today. This question was asked in the interviews of Amazon, Asana, and Workday. In this question, they're asking each employee is assigned one territory and is responsible for the customers from that territory. There may be multiple employees assigned to the same territory. Write a query to get the employees who are responsible for the maximum number of customers. Output the employee ID and the number of customers. So in a question like this, where we have multiple tables or even single table, the first thing I do is I try to see the data. So I have this guy here. Let's do select star from that table. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the second table as well. Just going to copy that. And this guy is map customer territory. And let's analyze what data we have here. So let's run that. And as you can see, for this table, we have employee IDs and then we have corresponding territory IDs as well. So if you look at employee E849, which is employee 849, you see this guy has been assigned territory of T3. Okay. Let's look at the other table now. So remember, employee 849 is the one we are focusing on. The employee 849 has been assigned the territory T3. So now let's look at this other table, which is a customer territory relationship table. And as you can see, we have multiple customers for the same territory. Okay. So again, let's take an example of territory T3. For territory T3, we have customer 273, 274, and if we scroll down, we have couple more customers that I cannot show you on the screen for some reason. Let me actually, yeah, but I cannot show you for some reason. But you know what? Let me just do order by territory ID, and probably that way I can probably show you what's going on here. And as you can see, now they are all assigned and kind of like grouped together here. So as you can see, we have for territory T3 we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 customers for territory T3, and similarly for territory T4 we have 4 customers as well. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in this question, they're actually asking, write a query to get the employees who are responsible for the maximum number of customers. So in the first table we looked at, we had a relationship between employee IDs and the territory. In the second one we looked at, we have a relationship between customer ID and territory. So in a way, they're asking us to kind of make relationship between employees and the customers, right? And the commonality between those two tables is the territory ID, right? So if I quickly draw this here to show you, so we have a table, I have a table here, right? And I have other table here. So let's say this one is, this is the first table. Let's just call it the employee territory table, right? And then I have this other table, which is customer territory table. So let's make it here, customer territory table. So as you can see, we have a commonality. We have a common field, which is territory ID, and the outcome or the solution to this problem is some sort of a relationship between employee and customer. Okay, so they're asking for combine these two using some sort of a join or something, right? And then give me the output where an employee has the maximum number of customers. So they want to see something like this: E relationship with C, right? This is just something I'm explaining what's going on here. The two tables which are connected with the common field territory ID. So let's let's stop all this and let's start coding now. So the first thing I'm going to do is, let's focus on the first one here, or let's actually focus on the second table here, which is the customer territory ID, right? So I already have that open. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to group the territories, territory ID, and I'm going to do a count on that. So that way I will see, oh, how many times this territory is being repeated, or aka how many customers do I have in that specific territory. So group by territory ID, and let's run this. And as you can see, this is what we saw earlier, right? And just to make your life easy, I'm just going to order this by and let's call this let's just call this customer count. Okay, customer count, because actually that's exactly what it's doing, right? Even though we are running a count on territory ID, that count is giving us how many customers we have in that territory, right? So let's do order by on that, and just do that in descending order. That means largest on top. Let's run this again. And as we saw this earlier too, right? The territory 3 and territory 4 both had the counts of 4. They came 4 times in the table. aka we have 4 customers in territory 4 and 4 customers in territory 3. Okay, so we have that now. I'm just going to remove this order by. I don't need that, but I'm going to put this into a CTE. So the reason is why I put something in a CTE is because I want to use that again, right? That's the obvious answer. But I also want to rank this, right? So whichever customer count is the highest, I want to rank that as number 1. In this case, we will have 2 ranks of number 1 because T4 and T3 have the same count, 4 and 4. So I want to make one more column here, dense rank. I'm going to be using a window function called dense rank, and that will give me a ranking. So it's going to be 1. It's going to be 1 again. This is going to be 2. This is going to be 3 and 3. So let's do that. I cannot do that at the same time when I'm grouping it. That's why I put that into a CTE so I can use this result again. So let's quickly see how I'm going to do that. I'm going to do select star. So give me all these, both the columns. On top of that, I'm going to add a new column using window function dense rank. I'm not using rank, I'm using dense rank over order by customer count, because what I'm doing here is I'm using dense rank window function over this window of customer count, and I want to order that by in descending order. That means highest count is going to be on top. That means that will be number 1, okay, in the ranking. Then on so on. The second largest is going to be rank 2, then rank 3, and so on. So let's do that from CTE1, and let's run this. We should have one more column now of dense rank, and there it is, dense rank column. And you can name it anything you want. I'm just going to leave it as dense rank. That's like self-assigned by Postgres. Now I'm going to put this into a CTE as well. CTE, you wrap that in the parentheses or brackets. And now, since we are done with the grouping and ranking of customer and territory relation, now we're going to focus on the first table here, which is map employee table. So select, let's do select. In the map employee table, we have employee ID and territory ID, right? So let's do employee ID from map employee territory table, and let's do an inner join now, because remember I talked about we gotta be able to join both these tables a certain way, right? And we have the common column territory ID in both tables. Inner join with CTE2, which was a grouped ranked table that we just created earlier. Inner join CTE2, and let's give them some aliases here. I'm just going to give it MET, the first letter of all these terms, so MET. and then CT is fine. And let's do a join on met dot territory ID equals CTE underscore 2 dot territory ID. And we only want, because of the question, write a query to get employees who are responsible for the maximum number of customers. Maximum number of customers means rank of 1. So where CTE2 dot dense rank equals 1. And also let's see what happens if I run this. I just wanna see what happens. Syntax error near that. Okay, what's going on? Select star CTE2. That looks good. Oh yeah, missing as there. Okay, let's run this. Okay, so right now I'm getting just the employee IDs, right? But the expected output is I also need to show them the number of customers. So how do I do that? Number of customers, again, is going to be coming from the CTE2 here. If you remember, CTE2 had this, if you look at the CT1 actually, the customer count, remember that? We did a group by on that. So let's just use that. Let's call it, it cannot be count because count is just going to give you, let me show you actually with the count what's going to happen with the count here. If I just do the count here and I do group by employee ID, if I do this is not going to be beneficial to us because the count is just going to be 111, right? Because when they are all grouped together, we just have one occurrences of all those employee IDs. What I actually want is the customer count. For one employee, how many customers I have. So I need something called sum here, sum aggregation. And you don't do star in that. You have to specify what you want to sum. I want to sum the customer count. So if I run this now, and there you have it. Employee ID 8849, and all these 849, 850, 851, 856, they all have, for some weird reason, they all have the same customer count, and they are all the top performers, I guess I should say. Let's submit this question and let's see if that's the right answer. So, and there you have it, all green. That means that's the correct solution.